All right. Enabling call forwarding and also enabling twinning. And we'll go through all of that today. So we'll go ahead and jump right in. 1X Portal is part of Power User Package. With that Power User license, you get Softphone, you get Flare, you'll get the 1X Portal, the mobility app for the Softphone, also Call Assistant, and the Outlook add-in. The 1X Portal is a backbone for all of these applications. So once you get 1X Portal installed and running, then the rest of these applications are easy to deploy. Except for Softphone, it doesn't use necessarily 1X Portal. It connects directly to the IP office. So if that's really all you needed, just a Power User license will get you that, and there's not a whole lot of implementation with the rest. So what is 1X Portal? 1X Portal is a web-based application, and it will allow you to control your phone from your PC. It doesn't replace your phone, although you can make calls from it and answer your calls from it, but it basically is controlling another device, whether it's your desk phone or it's your cell phone or even your home phone. Through the 1X Portal, you can see call details, for example, how many people are on a conference call, maybe how long you've been on the call. Also inside of 1X Portal, you have directory of contacts, you have history, so incoming calls, outgoing calls, and even missed calls you can all see inside of 1X Portal. You can do some phone configuration settings, and we'll show you that. Also conferencing, and we'll go through that as well. The browsers that are supported with 1X Portal, you get Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, Safari, so all of your major browsers that most people are using. Also, you get the Avaya Call Assistant, which has a built-in proprietary browser for the 1X Portal. It seems to work very well with it. We'll go over that today. A lot of my demo today will be inside of Call Assistant, so it really makes accessing the 1X Portal a lot easier than having to pull up a browser every time and go to a link, although that works just as well. Everything today will be on Release 9, so if you see some images or some buttons that maybe you don't have, it's because most likely we're on a different release. Also, I wanted to let you guys know, if you're currently on a 400 and you're thinking about going to the new chassis, I want to let people know that there are a lot of cards and expansion modules that migrate very easily over to the 500. So if you want to make that jump from the 400 to the 500, it's not a total system replacement. A lot of your current investment you can utilize in the upgrade as well. So it's not a full expense there. Also, we have questions working today, it looks like, so we will expect some of you guys to interact with me. Go ahead and just shoot me a message, and I will try to answer those the best I can. Brett brings up a good point. Thanks, Brett. Down here at the bottom it says Aaron Welton. Obviously, I'm not Aaron. My name is Paul Fragway. We'll just straighten some of that out. Hopefully it doesn't confuse too many people. Thank you, Brett. All right, we'll go ahead and jump right in. This is 1X Portal. I'm currently using the Call Assistant to view it. Let me get that back up. And 1X Portal is broken up into a few quadrants here. These are called gadgets. This one is the calls gadget. Then we have directory over here. This is a list of users on the system. Also, we have visibility into whatever mailbox is associated with your extension. And also, you can keep track of, this is labeled conversation history because it also keeps track of instant messaging, which is a feature inside of 1X Portal, but mostly it is your calls, so your inbound calls, your outbound calls, and missed calls. We'll go into more detail with that. Also, across the top here, 1X Portal has the capability of showing presence. So with presence, I can see that whether a user is available for me to make a call to them or whether they're available for me to send a chat message or instant message to. So I can also, right here at the top, I see my personal presence. I'm available for a phone call, and I'm also available to be contacted via instant message. There's different profiles that your 1X portal can control, and we'll jump into more detail, but right now I can see, just looking at the top, that I'm in my office profile, which means I'm in the office, I'm at my desk phone. This icon means I have voicemails. This is a conferencing button. If I click on this, then it joins me into my conference bridge. I don't have to reach over to my phone, dial a number, dial a pin. I just hit my bridge icon here, and it joins me into my conference bridge. This is my name and my extension. This is my presence. I can control that here. I'm currently available. I can also set myself to do not disturb if I didn't want to receive any phone calls. Also, you can customize your status. Today I am doing the Guru training right now, so I have on air Guru, so my coworkers kind of have an idea of what it is that I'm currently doing at this time. Cancel that. All right, we'll just jump right into the calls area here. And we'll just start breaking this down. Here we have an area where you can type in an extension, make a phone call. These are park slots across the top. So by default, your park slots would be park slot 1, 2, 3, and 4. I did a little customization just so we could show that it's available to you guys. You might want to make use of that. Also, these buttons down on the left-hand side allow me to control the calls. Whether I want to drop a call, I can put a call on hold, record a call, place it on mute, and then join multiple calls that I may have at that time into a conference. So what we'll do right off is we'll go ahead and initiate a phone call here, and we'll even use my directory. So let's see here. What we'll do is we'll call Richard, who is right here. Hey, Richard. All right, and we'll see now the call. He's answered his phone on his end, and we'll see now that we've established a phone call. I can see who it is I'm calling, also the amount of time that we've been on the call, and it just continues to count. I can drop the call here, place him on hold. Now Richard's on hold. He's hearing hold music. This icon, I can retrieve him, pick him back up. Also, the park slots across the top. If Richard is wanting to get in touch with somebody else besides me, and let's say he wants to get in touch with Erin, I know Erin's not in her office. She just passed my cube, so I can park Richard into a slot. When Erin passes back by, I can say, Erin, you have a call on park slot 2, and she'll go to her second park slot and pick that up. We'll pick Richard back up here. Also, we have mute capabilities here. And if I had a second call going, we could do a conference. So let's see here. Let's place Richard on hold, and we'll do a ad hoc conference real quick. Okay, we'll make a call to the outside. And you can see, answer that. You can see here now I'm manipulating 2 calls. Okay, so I have Richard here. Let me do some muting. I have Richard here, and I have Dudley here. Okay, if I wanted to join these 2 now in a conference, I could just press my conference button, and now have all of these individuals into one conference. What's really nice about 1X Portal is you can see everyone that's in your conference. So that's handy to know if everyone's joined, if maybe you need to wait. Also, from here, you can drop individuals and mute them. So let's say Richard was working at home today, and maybe his dogs ran into the kitchen, and everybody on the phone call is hearing dogs barking and this and that. Without interrupting the conference, I can just place Richard on mute, and the conference can continue. Also, Richard, he's still listening to the conference. He's just not able to participate in it until we take him off mute. So we'll do him a favor and bring him back in. Also, from here we have the ability to record the conference. Also very handy, let's say we have a coworker that is out today and we're having an important meeting when we're collaborating on a project that we're all working on. So we can record that conference, and while it's recording, we continue to go ahead and discuss whatever it is we're discussing. And then once the meeting's over, that recording drops down into my mailbox down here below. So later in the future, when my coworker returns, I can have him forward him that recorded meeting, and he can play it back at any time. We'll stop the recording there. And you can see it just dropped down just like that down into the mailbox for us to review it. All right, we still have this going. We'll go ahead and drop everybody. We have a drop all here. We also have a mute all button, which is handy. So we'll just go ahead and drop everybody in that. Thanks, Richard. Also, from the calls pane, you can transfer calls. So we'll get another call going here, and I'll show you how to transfer it. All right, so let's say I have a call going here with Dudley, and we have been discussing an item, and now he needs to talk to Richard. So if I wanted to transfer this call to Richard, I could just hit the transfer button here, and it would shoot that call over to Richard's phone. Now that would be like a cold transfer. If we wanted to do a warm transfer where we announce the call first, that would be this consult button, which is right here. Okay, so if I press consult here, you also have the same button up here. So let's see, we're going to transfer Dudley to Richard. We'd do a consult. All right, so now Richard answers. I say, hey, Richard, I have a customer. His name is Dudley. He wants to talk to you. Richard says, yeah, I go ahead and send him over, at which point I can go over here to Dudley, and I can complete the transfer just like that. Now, had Richard said he did not want to talk to this individual at this time because he's busy for whatever reason, we could do a retrieve, and I could pull Dudley back up and let him know that Richard's busy, and then send him over to Richard's voicemail if that's what he needed. So we'll go ahead and complete the transfer. And that's that. All right, so we've done making a call, conferencing calls. We've also done parking of calls into our park slots. Also, I wanted to show you this button here I talked about is my bridge. If I just select that, and it takes me right into my bridge for my participants. And I'll show you in a minute where you can set your conference bridge up. All right, we'll end that. All right, this is a good point. Does there anybody have any questions real quick for me to answer? I'm not seeing any just yet. At any point, guys, just submit your questions, and as I go through here, I have different breaks, and then I can review them, and then we can jump back and cover anything that maybe you had additional questions on. So we'll just jump into the next area here. All right, this is our directory gadget. The directory gadget is pretty much just like its name says, a directory of everyone on your system. But you have some flexibility with it where you can add individuals that may be external. You can also add cell phone numbers for people that may be mobile that are in your company. So here we have everyone that's in our current phone system, and this is just a straight up directory. But also we can customize our personal directory, and here I have it a little more broken out and organized. I have all the text here, so with just a click I can give Danny a call. If I know Danny is not in the office, I can go to his alternate number and click him here, and I can do that with everybody. Now, the system imports these names and numbers but you would need to go in and add the individual, whether it's a cell phone, you'll need to add that. Also, on here we have the capability of adding email, so we can go into individuals and we can add an email address here. So I can just click on that right there, and that will call Hugh. Oh, I'm sorry, that will pull up an email and send an email to Hugh. So that's handy. And then I've also created these groups, so you can create a new group. I've got project manager. These are all the sales reps that we have, and you can add those individuals there. That makes it a little more organized. Also on the directory, once one person has their directory set up the way they need it or they like it, let's say you have a help desk, these groups across the top, these could be maybe the different applications that your help desk supports, and then their points of contacts for each application. Maybe your JDE team has a couple of points of contacts, and you may have a JDE group, so you would add those people there, and maybe you have, I don't know, an SAP group or whatever it is, maybe an IP office group, and you could add your text there. So anyway, once you get your directory set, you can export these to Excel format, the CSV file, and once you export it, you can disperse those. Maybe you have one set up for accounting and one set up for your IT group. And then once you have it exported, obviously they just come in and import that file, and they have these people entered. So they don't have to go back in and add all the email addresses and add all of the mobile devices. They'll already be in there. All right. Still no questions, all right? You guys got it. We'll just keep on going. Here we have our messages. These are all my voicemails. So I can go and review any messages with a glance that I have in my mailbox. This one here, you see the floppy disk. It's a saved message, and these are unread messages here. This one here is a recording, and if I were to play that, I can just check that box, hit the play button, and it would play. Now, if I'm working remote, if I hit play now, it would play on my desk phone. But if I'm working, let's say, at my house, or I'm working in a hotel room because I'm traveling, I can, in the software, and I'll show you here in a minute, where you can set it to play back over your PC instead of playing over your phone, because that wouldn't be very helpful if you're not in front of it. Also, from these voice messages, you can delete messages. So if you have, some people get large amounts of voicemails in their mailbox because maybe they have their voicemail to email them, so they never actually have to go in and clear the voicemails out. If they want to clear out a large amount of voicemails in one shot, they can come here. Basically, it's like Hotmail or Gmail. You just check the box and you select delete to get rid of the message out of your mailbox. It's really good for administrators. You don't have to take that on for your users. If they have a lot of messages and they want you to delete them, you can ask them to just log into 1X Portal and let them know that they can delete them from there. Also from here, if you wanted to call back an individual, you can just click the number here or the name, and it would call that individual back. So you don't have to punch the numbers in manually onto your phone. You also have the ability to add that call to your personal contacts list, which we just covered a minute ago, and that makes it handy so you don't have to punch the number in, you just have to fill in the other fields. All right, that's directory. I'm sorry, that's messages. History. Any questions? No questions. Wow, last week you guys had a lot of questions. And now I've got it all figured out and no questions. All right, we'll just keep moving. Conversation history. This is incoming, outgoing calls. So this is all calls mixed together. You can break it up. These are all of my incoming calls over the last couple of days. Outgoing calls. This is handy if you dialed a call maybe the other day can't remember the number, you can come back in here and try to find it and give that number a call without going through 100 emails trying to find an individual's or a customer's phone number. Also, you have missed calls. And because this application has instant message functionality, you can come back here and do searches on instant messages you may have had. Maybe I had an instant message conversation with Alfredo concerning a customer's issue. I can come back here, search keywords, and find that instant message. Also inside of this history, you have the ability to add individuals to your directory. Also, same thing as the messages gadget, you can click and dial from here as well. All right. You can see that my 1X portal kind of has this black grayish tint to it. That's one thing you can change. You can change the skins on it. I think the default, this is what, if some of you guys already have 1X, this is probably what you see by default. You can also change it here. I think this is a little easier to read. All right, so those are the 4 quadrants of the 1X portal. That's some of the basic rundown of how to from a user standpoint, how to use it. We'll kind of go into some of the back-end configuration now for the user. So this is where 1X portal becomes really powerful. In a scenario, let's say you're traveling, you've left, you're on a business traveling event, and you're on the plane or you're in your hotel room, wherever you get, you realize that you didn't set up maybe your twinning, or you didn't set up your call forwarding, which you're going to need. You didn't also, maybe you didn't set up your greeting to let individuals calling you, let them know that you're out of the office, so it may be a while before you get back to their voicemails. So with the 1X portal, you can just pull it up from your laptop. Either it's on the internet or you have established a VPN connection into your network and you pull this up, log into it. From here, you can tell the application, hey, today I am mobile, okay? And then you have your profile here. Your profile sets, okay, I'm mobile and I want to have my call in this scenario twinned to a phone number. And this would be the number. So now that it's twinned, anytime I receive a phone call, the phone on my desk is ringing. Also, the mobile device that I'm carrying with me rings at the same time. So I have the option to pick it up on the cell device or on my desk phone. Now, this is handy. Let's say you're going to be out of the office in the morning, but maybe late morning or around lunch, 11 o'clock, you come in, you're going to be in for a few hours, and then you're going to go back out to the field. Back in the day, if you just had forwarding, you would have to remember when you're in the office to turn your forwarding off. With twinning, you just pick it up wherever you're at. If you're in and out of the office, you don't have to constantly remember, hey, I'm in, take forwarding off, I'm going out, turn forwarding back on. With twinning, it gives you that flexibility. Now, let's say you're going to be at a destination for an extended period of time, and you want to use that phone as your work phone. For example, I don't know, maybe you're traveling, you're at a hotel room for a month, or let's say you're working from home. I have my home profile set here. In this scenario, instead of twinning, I'm just going to do a forward because this is my primary location. I'm going to be here. I want people to call into my work number and receive that call on my home phone. So in that scenario, what's great, you give out one number. You only give out your work number on your business card. You're not giving out your customers your mobile number. You're not having to give them your cell number. You're not having to worry about advertising a number to the outside world that maybe one is your personal device or two is a number that maybe you're not always going to be at. The idea is that you have your DID assigned to your extension and you're always reachable from that one number. So in this case, I'm working from home. I set my profile to forward, okay, and I set the number to which those calls will be forwarded to. So when calls come into my work phone, if calls are forwarded to my home number, and I can answer and work with my customers just as if I was at my desk. Also, while you're working on that home device or your home number, you still get the call display in your details pane here. You still have a lot of the same functionality as you would with the other phone on your desk. All right, we'll move forward. Now, a lot of the configuration for your mobile device, the set twinning and set forwarding, you can set in here. You'll need to configure your, a lot of times people don't put this in until they absolutely need it, but if you're going to twin, you'll want to put in your mobile number. Also, this needs to be configured for anyone using the mobility app on their cell phones, which that will be another video. We'll cover that. It's a really useful application. But with that, you'll need to have your cell phone entered in here. Also, to have the ability to join individuals to your conference and to enter your bridge with just pressing this button here, you'll need to put in your bridge number. In this case, my bridge number is 3232. This is where you can customize the part slots that we went over up here. So we have your default is 1, 2, 3, and 4. In this case, I've created part slots for Hugh, and then I got my 2 in the middle here, and then I have Richard on the end. And you can set that up right here. Okay? So your part slots don't just have to be a numerical slot like 1, 2, 3, and 4. You could have accounting. You could have, you know, your help desk group or HR. Those could be named in there. That applies that part slot a little more to your day-to-day business, helps you organize calls that way. This is sound notification. I have mine turned off. I don't like to be, usually if I have an incoming call, I have about 3 devices notifying me that I have a call coming in. So inside of OneX Portal, I chose to have that disabled, but you could enable it here. It would just be another indication that you have calls and voicemails. Do not disturb. IP Office provides you with obviously do not disturb, which once that's set, any inbound calls just go straight to your voicemail. But you also have an exceptions list. So in this case, I have my boss, Erin Welton, added to my exceptions list. So if I'm on do not disturb, obviously I want her calls to still flow through to my desk phone. So that's good to have. And you can set your, you can see this is a personal and system. This would be your personal list that you have set up. So let's say I want Dudley to be able to call into my desk phone. I could select him here, add him to my exceptions. So when I'm on do not disturb, he would still be allowed to call in. All right, we have any questions? Still no questions. All right, good. Voicemail. This section here, you can re-record your out-of-office greeting on your voicemail box. This is the greeting that individuals would hear when your message comes up. So you can have an in-office greeting, an out-of-office. You can have up to 9 different greetings. Maybe have some holiday greetings and that. You have them all here. You can enable them. You can record them. You can delete them, manipulate them as you need to here. Okay, greetings are one thing. We all understand what greetings are. This feature here is pretty cool. This is a voicemail screening feature. With this enabled, it allows you to intercept a voicemail while the message is being left. So let's say I've been trying to get in touch with the customer all day long to resolve an issue. They've been out of pocket. So I go ahead and move on to another issue. I'm working with someone else. It's something that I can jump off of. I get a phone call. I look at my desk. I look at my OneX portal. I don't recognize the number right away. And I see that they go to voicemail. With this selected here, I can listen to that voicemail message as the caller is leaving it, and then I can decide whether I want to take that call or just to go ahead and ignore it, let them leave a voicemail, and I'll continue. For example, how many times have you tried or have you been trying to get in touch with somebody, they don't answer the phone, later in the afternoon, that call comes in, you decide not to answer it, and then once you hear the voicemail and you're like, man, had I only known that was that person, I would have gone ahead and answered it. That's what this feature is trying to remedy. This gives you that one added ability to listen as it's being left, interrupt it. And I have a bonus screenshot here to show you guys what it kind of looks like. So as the call comes in, this is the calls pane that I showed you guys at the beginning. Okay, this would be my initial call. This is the call that I would, let's say, I currently was on when the second call came in. Okay, now the second call has come in. I see it being presented, so I let this individual here know, could you hold on 1 second? Put them on hold. Okay, so this call here is on hold. This is the second call coming in that's currently in my voicemail box. If I click this button here, they can't hear me, but I can hear them while they're leaving the voice message. So maybe it's a customer saying, hey, I've gotten your voicemails all day. Sorry it took me so long. I have a free minute now. I can actually right then take that call and answer it clicking on this button here. And it really throws them off a little bit because they're in your mailbox and they're like, whoa, and then you answer, you say, hey, I'm here. Let's work together. Let me put you on hold. I have somebody else on the other line. Let me get rid of them, and I can work with you. Or you listen to them leaving the message, and you decide that it's not something that you want to take immediately, so you can go ahead and ignore it here. Go back to the initial call that you had. And I kind of broke down these icons here, so I'll let you know what those actually do. And I do believe that that icon there is going to represent your ear. So I thought that was interesting. All right, back to OneX Portal. That's inside of the configure, voicemail, and it's that checkbox there. That's where you enable that. Okay. Now we're working inside of, any questions on that? All right, we got a question. I've been waiting for a question. Let's see. Do we need a license to have OneX Portal? Yes. You need a power user license, and it's an individual license. So just one power user license, you can get a lot of these features, but you'll need a license for each individual. And with that one license, you get, let's go back to it, you get these apps here. The soft phone, the Flare, okay, OneX Portal, mobility that goes on your smartphone, call assistant, and the Outlook add-in. I hope I answered your question there, Adam. Let's see if anybody else has one. Nope, looking good. All right. Get it organized. All right. Desktop integration. Like I said in the beginning, I'm working inside of an application called the Avaya Call Assistant. So this actually, get this going here. Yep, there it is. Okay, I'm working inside of the Call Assistant. So this is a browser, but it's not what you would typically think of as a browser. And you can get this if you haven't downloaded yet. If you already have the OneX Portal and you want the Call Assistant, you already have it. Just log in to your browser, whether it's Internet Explorer or Firefox. Log into your OneX Portal, go to Configure, go to Desktop Integration, and get this download here. It's the Avaya IP Office plugin for Microsoft Outlook and Avaya OneX Call Assistant. Okay. Once you install it, it gives you this icon down here in your system tray, and you'll need to configure it. And the configuration is pretty simple. You'll get your application ID, whether it's in some cases it may just be an IP address, and then your username and password. I don't know if you guys attended last week, but this is the username and password that's on the user tab, and it's case sensitive. So on the user tab, my user ID, my username is capital P, capital F, lowercase R-A-G-U-A, and that's inside of Manager. So if you were with us last week, you'll probably have some recollection of that being covered. Also, since it's recorded, you can go in, watch that recording again. Anyway, that's where I'm getting that username and password from. Okay, and this is where you can download the the call assistant. Here you can manipulate your presence and also whether or not you're notified via instant messaging if somebody leaves a conference or exits a conference. Also your presence here, whether or not you show available for phone calls or chat, you can manipulate those here. So if I'm on a call, I want it to affect my presence and my message. So that's my presence up there, the big bubble, and then my message or my instant message is that little bubble there. And I can say only the message or presence and message or none. And I can do that for on calls. Also, this calendar that it's referencing is going to be your Outlook calendar. So presence can be integrated into your Exchange environment. So with setting up a few accounts, it can pull that free busy information over into 1X portal and show presence. Also, you got an avatar. I have mine set. I don't know if you guys recognize that fellow there, but one of my favorite places. All right, notifications. Again, some of your browsers will allow you to have pop-ups. Well, I think all of them do. But you can check that, and that will allow pop-ups inside of your browser. I particularly don't prefer that, so I don't have it enabled. Also, we have security here. You can reset your password to get into the 1X portal from here, and also your voicemail password can be reset from the security tab. All right. I don't know if you guys, that's just about wrap this up there. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and submit those now. I have a couple of announcements that I need to get out of the way while you guys submit any questions if you have any. Any questions after today or after this video, you can send to support@agilitycg.com. Just put Guru in the subject line. That way we can kind of separate those from the rest and just send those over. If you're interested in an upgrade, just put in there, I'm interested. We'll get a sales rep, get whatever information you need to get. Or if you just have a simple question, maybe we can answer those for you right off the bat. Also, after this session, in this recording, you'll receive a survey. So in there, there'll be some questions that Marnie has set up for you guys. Just give us some feedback because we're trying to make these sessions valuable to you, and we have an idea of things that might be valuable, but we kind of know the stuff, and we're not in your shoes. So if you've purchased this or you're thinking about it, and there's some topics you want us to cover, you know, put it in that survey. Send us an email to support@agilitycg.com, and we'll get that stuff answered for you. Also, if you were looking for future dates, you can go to the agilitycg.com/events website, and you can get dates, and I believe we're going to have topics on there soon. I think these first two, they didn't have topics associated, but we're going to have topics, and so you'll kind of know what's coming down the pipe. Also, we have support contracts. We have advisor support. Let's see, I have a question, and I'll get to it in just a second. We have 2 support contracts. We have advisor, that's break fix. If it breaks, call us, we'll fix it for you. Also, extended team. Extended team, it does break fix, but also it includes move add changes. So maybe you're light on an IT staff, and you want us to handle bringing on individuals, taking them, or deactivating individuals, extensions and that, moving phones around. We can handle all that for you with that extended team contract. And that's about all I have. So let's see what questions we can answer. Yeah, we have a bunch. Give me one second. All right, we have a question here from Stacy. She's asking if you can drag and drop individuals here. No, what we do, I have all these added. If you want to add a group, you can add a group here. Okay, so test users. And then if I wanted to add an individual to that group, I just go to that group and I can, from here, okay, just like that. Oh, also right here, you'll need to add your number to get an outside line. Okay, since you're external to us, you would add it that way. I could add, Stacy, your personal email address here. Also, if I had your mobile and you wanted me to contact you that way, I could add that there as well, and then add it. And there it is, Stacy. But as far as the drag and drop, no, that doesn't work that way. Yes, sir. Let's see. Julian's asking us a question. The question was, is there a difference between mobility and twinning? Twinning is, so we have the mobility app that goes on a smartphone, and that mobility app utilizes twinning, but twinning is, the twin part of it is your desk phone and another device, so maybe your cell phone, those two being paired together. But sometimes mobility is referred to as twinning. But twinning is never referred to as twerking. Don't get those mixed up. All right. Does the softphone app work on Apple Mac? Let's see. Robert's asking that question. I'll be honest, Robert, I have to look and see. I don't want to get it wrong, so I will, let me research that for you, and I will shoot you an email on that. Yes, someone else asked about the soft console that the operator uses, or maybe the receptionist. Yes, that has drag and drop capability, especially on transfers and that. Any special license for twinning? No. With I'm not sure, Michael, what release you guys are currently on, but as of somewhere, I think it was 8.0, twinning became a standard feature. So if you're below 8, go ahead and find out what. It's a very powerful feature, by the way. If you're below 8, get with your rep, see if an upgrade to 9 is feasible, because it doesn't require any special licensing for twinning just alone. Now, if you want to be able to manipulate twinning like I am here, this is the 1X portal, which requires a license. But the twinning feature itself, it's a standard feature with the latest version of IP Office. That's a good question, Michael. Marnie's question, it should if Safari is supported browser. Maybe you're referring to the soft phone. Probably. I just hate to give a wrong answer, so I'm going to research it. All right, I think that's all of the questions. So unless anybody else has anything, thank you, Julian. Or Juliana. I'm getting it. We're going to go ahead and close it out. Remember, you can contact us at support@agilitycg.com. Also, our dates can be found at agilitycg.com/events. Also, after this session, you will receive a survey. Please fill it out, and it will help us continue to provide great value to you guys on these sessions. So, all right, guys, everybody have a good Thursday, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.